Hey guys, Logan here today, and today we're going to be talking about my favorite New 52 title ever, which is Action Comics. Now, Action Comics is a Superman title, and it is by far just the best Superman title ever. And this video is going to be an in-depth analysis where we're going to be looking at all the different writers that have gone through the series and have brought different interpretations to the series and bringing new things to the table. This will be split into different parts though. This is just part one because honestly, if I had to do a whole video with every single writer, this video will be like 30 minutes long. So what we're gonna do is in this video we're just gonna be talking about Morrison and his comic books, and he was the first writer to start it. Now, big pile of comics here. Now these are all of the comic books Grant Morrison did. These are just a few that I selected for this video because it would be a lot of issues to talk about. But yeah, it basically starts with two issues: Action Comics number 1 and number 0. Now, Action Comics number 1, this is the first issue. This one came out first, and then pretty much a bit further into the New 52, they released the 0 month, which was basically a 0 issue for all the series. It is 0 issue for every series, and this is basically the Action Comics one. Now this one's a prequel to this one. In this one, they focus more on Superman running around in his jeans, his sneakers, and his shirt and his cape. Because in the New 52, when Superman started, he didn't have a full-on suit. His dad didn't give him a full-on suit like he usually does. He just gave him a cape. That's all he had. So, and then how Grant Morrison did was that when Clark Kent first went to Metropolis, he had to actually go to a print shop and ask the guy to print shirts with the Superman emblem on it, and then he basically he was running around in just these casual clothes. And when I first saw this, I just started laughing. Like, seriously, how can this be Superman's suit? But anyway, it was so funny. But yeah, it turned out. But yeah, it was quite an interesting look on thing. And this one focuses around on him running around, and then this one, it goes into more in-depth story. This is when he first meets Lex Luthor, and the government try and capture him because they try and do this Man of Steel steel program where they're trying to take DNA from him and then put it into soldiers and make them bulletproof like he is. So, but then they obviously fail. And yeah, these first two issues were like really good. You guys should definitely check them out. Okay. 2 issues. Avoid these 2 issues is issue 5 and issue 6. Take a good long look. Avoid these issues if you don't want to be confused out of your mind. Okay, I bought these 2 issues when they came out, but and this story was so confusing. I mean, in this storyline, basically Superman is still running around with his shirt and his cape and his jeans and everything. And then the Superman from like a year later or something, from like the future, he comes in and he comes to the past and he's gonna help. He's gonna prevent something from happening to the Superman to that time Superman, and then he comes in and then he's gonna try and avoid being confronting the other Superman, because then there's a whole time loop thing. And this was 2 of the most confusing comic books I've ever read. Actually, in fact, I actually think I'm probably going to try and reread these. Maybe just try and reread them and try and get them. But I did not understand what the hell was going on in these comics. I literally just could not understand. I felt like I was writing a flippin' maths exam. I mean, that's what it felt like. So, yeah, so don't. So if you can, try and avoid these comics. Because don't get me wrong, Grant Morrison does a great Action Comics series, but these 2 issues were just, I don't know what the heck was going on there. Anyway, there's that. Then the next 2 issues I want to show you is the start of the first is issue 7. This is the start of the City in the Bottles story arc, which has Brainiac in it. And this storyline basically talks about when Superman first meets Brainiac. This is also how he gets his real proper suit, his proper Superman suit. And basically what happens is that Brainiac shrinks. Superman went flying out into space one day to do something, and then Brainiac shrunk the city of Metropolis into a bottle, like the bottle of Candor, and Superman had to save them, and he had to battle Brainiac, and then this is the next issue, issue 8, and you can just sort of see what Brainiac looks like. Yeah, Brainiac looks very weird in New 52. His New 52 look is very different to what they've done before. But this is a picture. This is basically the cover of him battling Brainiac, and the Brainiac storyline was actually pretty good. It was actually pretty well done, and it was basically how Clark Kent, how Superman establishes himself as Metropolis's protector. So like, yeah, so yeah, and it was pretty good. It was pretty well done. Then another interesting issue I want to move on to, which is very very interesting, is issue 9, which is where they look at the Earth 23 Superman, and in Earth 23 Superman's an African American, and it was a very interesting issue. This is an interesting issue. They didn't carry on with the Superman. The Superman was only featured in this issue, but they basically take a look at the Superman from Earth 23 and what he does and everything. And in that universe, like a lot of the superheroes are African American. Most of the Justice League's African American. I mean, the only hero in the Justice League that's still white is Batman. Not trying to be racist, just saying. That's how it was. And and then like Superman's like the mayor of Metropolis, and it's a very interesting comic book. And I must say it was a very interesting read for a Superman reader, because you get to see a different Superman from a different universe. Pretty much still the same, except instead of growing up on a farm, he grew up in Harlem, in New York, and yeah, and he grew up in the hood, and yeah, it's a very good comic book. You should definitely check that one out. Okay, then we got number 10. This storyline, the next 2 issues focus around Nimrod, around this new villain Nimrod. He's like this assassin, sort of like Deadshot for Superman, and he's a villain that Grant Morrison created. Grant Morrison introduced this villain, and he basically goes out and tries to kill Superman because he's crazy. He's just utterly crazy. But he's a very cool villain, and I must say it was a pretty interesting to see an assassin brave enough to try and take on Superman. And then anyway, then issue 12, they move on to the next villain. Now this guy is this guy who has these psychic mental abilities. I don't know. It's a very hard read. You're probably gonna have to read it through it twice to understand what's going on, because Grant Morrison, he does have very deep, complex, confusing stories. So I don't know. I don't know, but it was a very good storyline. And what's interesting about this guy is that he grew up in Kansas around the same time as Clark Kent, and he also had powers like Clark Kent. But unlike the Kansas people who embraced what Clark could do, they treated this kid like he was a freak, and he comes back and he's like pissed off, and he was supposed to take on Superman, and it's a very interesting battle because Superman's got to fight this guy, but the thing is he's got to fight him mentally, which is pretty interesting. And Lois Lane's in it, and there's this whole background story about Lois Lane. One of my favorite things about the story was when was basically in the one comic book where oh yeah, this will contain some spoilers, so you might want to skip ahead in the video for this. But there's one part where Lois Lane gets injured, and then Superman takes her to the hospital, and the doctors say, "No, sorry, Superman, there's nothing we can do. She's completely ill. There's nothing we can do." And then Superman, in a matter of minutes, flies around the world, goes to every library, speed reads through every book, every medical book in history, and then masters surgery, and then he flies back, and then he fixes Lois Lane, and doctors are going like, "Holy crap! He just like learned like 10 years worth of medical history," which is which I thought was very interesting. I mean, I've never seen Superman do that before, so that was a pretty interesting thing. And yeah, it was a pretty interesting comic book, so you should definitely check that story arc out. Then we got the annual uh, annual number 1. There is an annual number 2 coming out, but I'm not going to really get it because it just focuses around this whole Superman Doom thing that's coming up, which I'm very excited for. And yeah, basically this annual focuses around the Kryptonian man and his origins and how he meets Superman and everything. Still written by and the funny thing is this one wasn't actually written by I forget his name, but this one wasn't written by Grant Morrison. It was written by a different writer, and I was quite surprised at the time. I was kind of going like, is this going to really be good enough? Because Grant Morrison has set such a standard, but no, it turned out to be very good. And it's got the Kryptonian man, and it goes into his New 52 origins, and it's a very, very good comic book, and very interesting comic book. You guys should definitely check it out. It's also I think Superman's like first encounter with Kryptonite, so it's a very, very good comic book. You should definitely check that one out. Then the final thing I want to show you of Grant Morrison is issue is Action Comics issue 15. This is the final story arc that Grant Morrison, the start of the first story arc that Grant Morrison did before he left. And this is basically a storyline where basically a whole bunch of villains from previous issues come team up and all take on Superman. Like you can see, you can see the guy with the green eyes. That's the Kryptonian man. That guy there with the hat and the mask. That's Nimrod. That's Nimrod. He gets like this cool battle armor, and he looks a bit different since Superman first faced him, and it was very good. And must say it's a very nice issue though. Very nice issue. I mean, it was like got like Clark Kent dancing with the girl and balloons around. I thought that was a pretty cool cover. And that's end of part one of my video. I hope this was helpful. I really do miss Grant Morrison. He did a great job with the Action Comics. The new writers have been doing amazing jobs as well. But that was the first one. Overall, I would probably give this Grant Morrison's run a 4 out of 5. He did bring a very interesting ideas into the Superman storyline. Although at some points there were times when he kind of lost me, like with issue 5 and 6, he just lost me, and I didn't know. I just really just didn't know what the hell was going on. So I think it would have been a perfect series if it just didn't have those little speed bumps. But anyway, it was a great series, and thanks for watching my video, guys. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And and then part 2 will be out soon, where I'll be talking about 2 different writers. But anyway, thanks, guys.